Hello! How are you all? Well, we're in the gear room again, and I've got some more gear to show you. I've been a little bit busy on eBay. I really need to stay off there. Yeah, I bought some bits and pieces, and it's some vintage gear. So we've got nice vintage Coleman 502 stove. It's a 1970s vintage one, and really pleased with this one. It needs a few bits to finish it off, but it's a 1950s, maybe even earlier than that, vintage Valor stove. It's identical to the Primus design, so it's a Primus stove produced under license. As I say, there's a few bits missing which I've got on order, and we'll get cracking on that one. And one that I'm particularly pleased with, because this was a real little bargain. I've seen these advertised for twice what I paid for it, and yeah, I think I've done very well. Again, 1950s vintage, and this is a Monitor, the Monitor touring stove, the 17B I believe, and lovely little thing. Comes in a tin. The label that was pasted to the inside has obviously seen better days, but it is all there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this on the bench, give it a bit of a clean up, and see if it works. Right, let's go and head into the workshop. Okay, so we're on the bench. We've cleared a bit of space. Cleared a bit of space in here. It's still an absolute tip in this garage, so I won't show you too much around the inside of it. Yeah, the trouble is the garage gets used as a bit of a dumping ground, and anything and everything gets chucked in here and forgotten about. So sometimes it's just a bit of a struggle to find space to work on stuff, but we got there. So first one we're going to have a look at is the Monitor stove. We'll do the Primus later because we need parts for that. So let's see what we've got. In fact, I'll give you the big Clive style view from above again, like we have done on previous videos. One moment please. Okay, so get it the right way up so you can see from there. It's a bit upside down for me, but right. So you open the tin. Obviously that should be stuck to the inside. I think what I will do is I'll try and find a copy of that online and print a copy off, and we'll paste a new one in. Keep the old one to one side. It is a bit crispy. So our kit of parts, we have, move the matches over there. Got the three little supports that support your kettle or your pot or whatever. You've got a pot for methylated spirits. More about that later, because it's actually a paraffin stove, not meths. And you've got your burner assembly and preheater, the jet assembly, put those all down there, and your body of your stove, the tank that holds the fuel, with its little pump there for pumping up the pressure. Put that there. You've got a pricker, and that is basically, it's got a little, whether you can see it, it's got a very fine wire on the end, and that is for cleaning out this little nozzle in the top of the jet there. So you've got a very fine pinhole in the top of the jet, which the vaporized fuel goes out through, and you just run that thing through it just to keep it clear of any carbon deposits, soot, that sort of stuff. And a spanner for assemblage. Those bits and pieces off the label in there. Right, so have a look. I have taken the liberty of oiling the pump cup on this. There's actually pump there. What it's got a little leather cup. I won't pull it out because it's a pain in the arse to get back in again. So I've oiled it up so it's nice and supple, and it forms a nice airtight seal. I have given it a couple of pumps to make sure it does pressurise, and it does, which is good. So Right, I think we should try this out. So we'll give this a go. We'll get the legs out. So you've got 3 little legs that fold out. They're quite nice on the bottom of it, which is quite neat. Now we need to fill it up with fuel. So I will get a funnel and a some fuel. Okay, so we're back. Right, pop our little funnel in. Pour some fuel in there. Put some kerosene. That'll do. Because obviously you want an air gap in the top so you can actually pressurise it. Otherwise, if you fill it right up to the brim, it's not going to work properly. So we'll pop that cap back on there. And what we do is we undo the air screw in the top of the cap. Now we'll start assembly. So we've got this little doohickey here. So undoing that. When I take that cap off, what we'll do, we'll put that in the box so we don't lose it. Now, you have the jet assembly. Should go in there. We tighten that up with the spanner provided. Put those bits in there. Then you want the preheating cup. Stick the burner over the top. Make sure that's all in place. Now we could use a flame shield, but to be honest with you, we're inside, it's not going to be very windy, so we will leave that off at the moment, and that gives you a better illustration. You can see what's going on then. And then we'll pop our 3 little pot supports in there. Now, okay, so we've brought it outside because we don't want to set fire to the workshop. I've put some spirit in there. Put the windshield round it as well, just like that. It's lit, I think. So as you can't see the flame very clearly with the spirit fire.
Again! Please don't let the invisible fire burn my friend!
It's almost an invisible flame on it. Yeah, that's lit. Ooh, interesting old biplane going over. Couple more on there. Captain's got a little bit of a leak. It's roaring away.
Bit of steam there.
No time at all. So 5 minutes. A ferocious little burner. Brilliant. Right. So we turn it off. We've just released the pressure via the air bleed screw. And there she goes. Simple as that. Successful first firing of the monitor. That is a cracking little thing. Lovely little stove. Yeah, I can see me getting some use out of that. That's nice. I say the little tin it comes in, it's nice and compact, doesn't take up a lot of room. Yeah, think in the winter months in particular that's going to be really good, because you know what it's like in winter trying to get a gas burner to light outdoors when your cylinder's frozen and then the gas won't gas. Yeah, so this is going to be a useful standby. Yeah, brilliant. Like it. Right, so now we'll move on to the Coleman stove. Now I've sort of de-rusted it a little bit because it was a little bit corroded around here. Cleaned it through, swooshed it through with carburetor cleaner, and we'll give it a little pump up. I've stuck some fresh, best quality E5 or whatever it is, E10 unleaded petrol in there. Yeah, the cheap supermarket crap. You turn that a few times. It's got a little pricker that goes up inside there that clears the nozzle. Leave that pointing outwards. Turn this wheel on the side here, a quarter of a turn, I think it is. And light. Away she goes. Or longer. Okay. Well, so far so good. Looks promising. Now, according to the instructions on the side here, light, pump air for strong flame while preheating, so we'll pump some air in again. Ooh, well, that's tend to blow the flame around a bit. Okay, maybe we've got enough pressure there. Okay, go on. No. Okay. I'll pump too much in. Valve down a bit. Okay, well that's burning quite well. We'll just put that in, we'll lock that. Because the thing with these Coleman pumps is that it's quarter of a turn to unlock it, to pump it. You have to put your finger, there's a hole on the end there, you have to put your finger over it. And then when you're finished, you just lock it like that. But it stops you. So open valve completely after a couple of minutes. So we'll open the valve completely. Oh, it meant to do that. Oh, there it goes. Oh, a bit more of a pump. Oh, it's away. Oh, look at that. Whee! There she goes. Beautiful. Oh, that's not bad. And you regulate the flame with this, so you can turn it down a little bit. I'll turn it right up. Excellent. Very pleased with that. Put more pressure in there. More pressure. Ah, nice. I think the flame's hunting a little bit. It might need another swoosh through with a bit of carburetor cleaner. I think there might be a bit of petrol, a bit of varnish from the old petrol that's in there still. Oh, that's a bit, yeah, there we go, that's better. I've just tweaked it a little on the valve there. I'll let it run on low for a little bit and then back up to high. Oh, that's running a dream, that. Beautiful. Yeah, this is some vintage gear. This one, 1964. So I'm sorry, 68. There's a stamping on the underside. Says it was 68. Just need to get a new knob. New knob's broke. That is nice. Good strong flame, that. Yeah. Very pleased. Turning off is just a matter of shutting the fuel valve off. That's completely shut off. That'll burn the remaining pressure off that's in there. And turn that right in. That shuts it off completely. So there you go. The old Coleman 502. That is a good bit of kit. As I say, that I can see coming in very useful. Now the big boy. Yeah, in similar principle. Obviously missing a couple of parts. It was missing missing an air valve screw on the end here, so I've had to make one up. Just that with 2BA screw and a bit of brass I had kicking around. I fashioned one together. And it should fit in there. Screws in there. There we go. That saves you having to keep undoing the cap all the time. It was a similar principle to the small monitor stove. You release the air pressure to turn it off, but there you go, you fill it up. Put your fuel. Same thing, light the cup. Yeah, obviously put methylated spirit in the cup, light it. That heats this up. You see, you've got a little, you can see very well on the picture, on the camera, but that's where my little finger is. There's a little nozzle there, a little jet. So the fuel comes up through these tubes, goes through this chamber in the top here, back down this tube, where once it's heated up it's turned into vapour, goes through that little jet and goes up through the middle, and then you have a cap that goes over the top that spreads the flame out. Again, that's missing, so we'll get that ordered up. So yeah, we'll have a little fun restoring this. I reckon that could respond to a good bit of polishing as well. So yeah, that's the next one. Okay, so what we've done, we've took the burner assembly off the big Primus, and it's now in a solution of citric acid. That should clean that up. The slightly corroded and worn pot rests on the top, what I've done is cut some bits of copper tube, just some thin copper tube, and made up little sleeves which I've pushed over the ends to give a bit more meat on the tops of the pot stands there. So yeah, we'll leave that overnight pickling and see what they look like in the morning. It's obviously dissolved some copper tarnish in there. Now, it's not really cleaned the soot off much. Put a rag down. See what we're dealing with. Wipe down there. Aha! Beauty. That looks better. Much cleaner than it was. That's done a job. Okay, so it's some time later. It's a few days later actually. I ordered the necessary parts to do the repair on this thing. Should have done that to start with. So they've just arrived in the post today. They come from these guys, based in Great Yarmouth, and they do all sorts of different bits and pieces, repair kits for Primus stoves, Tilly lamps, all that sort of vintage gear. Yeah, it wasn't expensive. Yeah, it was less than a tenner, I think, if I remember rightly. It's got the washer cups for the pump. There's a nozzle in there for the burner. There's a non-return valve to replace the one that's in the bottom of the pump chamber there. So we'll get that done. There's some washers to go on the burner itself to replace the missing one, or the damaged one rather. So what I've done is I've took the old damaged one off, cleaned it all up, and we'll replace that to start with. Okay, so we'll put you there, and let's get this pack open. So we've got the extraction tool for I think that's for the non-return valve. We've got one here which is a cranked one, I think, with a little nozzle on the burner. So let's have a look, see what we got in the kit. So yeah, we got the little, there's your little nozzle, your little jet, which will go in your burner. There's your non-return valve for the pump, brand new one. Ah, there's your, yeah, that's your cranked tool for getting in here to get the old nozzle out. You got another one of those. It's the same as that one, I think. Well, it could be slightly smaller. Is that? Ah, that'll fit. Oh, well, there you go. That'll fit. That's, yeah, that's literally undone that straight away. Right, that's good. So we'll leave that for a minute. Let's see what else we've got in here. We have, right, washer cups. Looks like we've got a number of different sizes. We've got the gaskets. Well, we need a new gasket for the burner. I'll pop him on. So one fibre gasket. That's that one. And we will do the nozzle while we're here. So what we'll do is we'll pop the old one out. It's literally comes out as easy as that. So very carefully take him out. There we go. Drop him on the bench. That's the old one, which I think is pretty knackered. What I might do is actually give that a swoosh through with some cleaner, just to make sure that is thoroughly cleaned through before we pop the new nozzle in. So we'll give that a good squatty squat. That's good. That should do for that. Right, we will then extract our new nozzle from the packet. Oh dear. You have to excuse my sniffling and slight croakiness. I'm still full of cold. I've been struck down with it the last few days. I'm sort of hoping it's the back end of it now, but yeah, I'm still feeling pretty rough. So we'll pop our new nozzle in, having cleaned everything out. That's right. Don't over tighten it. That should be good enough. So there we go. We got our new gasket, our new nozzle. That's all ready to be threaded back onto there. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, we've got to put that preheater cup on first. Right, and then screw that right down. I might just do that hand tight. Just make it easier. I don't want to over tighten it anyway, because these are copper and brass and they tend to strip easily if you over tighten them. So that's those. Right, and then move on to the pump cup. That's our old leather pump cup, which you can see has definitely seen better days. Right, so that's all connected together. I'll clean that out because that is absolutely bloody filthy. That's better. Alright, pop him on, screw the pump knob back on. Knob. Right, pop those babies back in there. So the next job we want to do is to replace this non-return valve. So, in here somewhere, give it a turn. Oh heck, yeah, that was tight. Hopefully unthreaded. I hope that hasn't stripped it. Ooh. Does it come out? Well, there it is. So we'll pop him on. Locate him onto the new. There we go. And we simply pop that back in there. Hopefully that threads into place without over tightening it. There we go. Now we will oil up the new cup. Put your lubrication on it. Make it nice and supple, hopefully it'll go in easy. Now the fun bit, getting this in here. Let's have a look. In fact, I'll undo that cap as well, just to... Oh heck. Get it in without damaging it. Oh, there we go. Might be lucky. More lube. Lube her in. She's going. Yep, she's in. Right. Screw the cap on. Let's give it a couple of likely pumps. I'll take the cap off. We don't want to pressurise it. Just want to test the pump. So that feels good and positive. Yep. I'm saying that's good. Okay. I've had to modify the screw design because it wasn't sealing properly. No matter how I tried to cut it on my really crap lathe, I couldn't get it to seal right. So I've drilled the spout out inside there, tapped it to M4. So I'll now take an M4 screw, and what I've done is I've got just like a little steam fitting wheel that I've soldered on, and that should seal that adequately. And when you need to release the air, it's just a matter of unscrewing it there. So that should do the job. So we'll just pump some pressure into her. See if she squirts. Should come out through the middle there like a little fountain of fuel. Whoa, there she blows. Yeah, that's looking quite promising. I might nip that up a little bit more. Just be on the safe side. There we go. After, of course, popping the necessary parts back on. There. Right then. Let's run that way. Bit of spirit. Get her warmed up. Okay. Seems to be heating the trivet rather than the burner. Oh, there she goes. Yay! Yeah, pleased with that. These are all done up, aren't they yet? I've put a new gasket on there as well. It looks like it's holding pressure this time. Two out of three. That's not bad, as I say. This one I'm very impressed with. Great little stove. I could see a lot of use coming from this. But I need also to try and look after it and try and keep it as in its original state as much as possible. I mean, the box is a bit battered. I've tried cleaning it with Brasso, but it's hopefully it stopped it rusting further anyway. So yeah, that's nice. So that's going to get used. That's definitely going to get used. This also, the Coleman. Yeah, very pleased with this. I mean, they are still producing a version of this. It's not the 502 anymore. It's a more updated version, but they're still producing the dual fuel pressure stove. Yeah, I need to replace that O-ring on that cap, but apart from that, I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, that I want to try out with our Coleman oven that we've got. So I think the two paired together will work very well. Look out for a future video on that one. As for the Primus, well, yeah, that was a bit of a lost cause, I think. I've investigated further, and the seal around the tank where the filler is and the air release valve, it looks as though it's got a leak where it joins the tank, so I may have to clean that up and solder it, and we'll give it another go after that. So there you go, that's the 3 vintage stoves. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I've always wanted to try a Primus stove out, and I did have a little Coleman stove years ago that I used to use for fishing, but I don't know what happened with that. With various house moves, it's got lost over the time. There's also a couple of Coleman lamps as well that have got lost. They'll probably turn up again when I sort through the garage. But yeah, that was nice to experiment with those, and it's nice to have a little backup for when the gas stoves don't gas. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll look forward to chatting to you all in the next one. Cheerio, folks.